Hello, my lovelies. Happy Monday. This is going to be our weekly. This might be one of the only readings that I post this week besides the daily card. I am a little wiped, so I'm going to take a couple of days off and rest and regroup, and then I will be back. So I may post other readings, but for now, we're going to incorporate most of what I would post into your weekly. Check the comments for your timestamp for each of the 12 zodiac signs. I go by element, fire, water, air, and earth in that order. We're going to start with the sign of Aries. All right, Aries, let's see what's going on. Hopefully you survived the holiday of Valentine's Day. There were tons of love readings up last week and the week prior, so I probably won't be posting a love reading for anybody this week. If you are interested and you want a love reading specific, reach out by email, book a personal. I'd be happy to do one for you. All right, so Aries, what's going on with you? We're at hiccups for confirmation. What's going on, Spirit? There is some difficult energy that you're processing is what I'm picking up. And so Spirit really needs you to sit with it, feel it, and if it's negative, they want you to release it. Okay, what else does Aries need to know? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do we need to know from the dragons? What's going on? The water chalice. I feel like you need to take a very spiritual bath, a very cleansing bath. They're saying something about a retreat. So water washes it away, right? So whatever the ick is, whatever the gross energy is, the heavy energy, spiritually cleanse it away. I feel like this is also about emotions, and it's hard to see. There's waterfalls in the background of this card. So I feel like there's a lot of emotions that are coming to the surface for you. So there might be some things that you really do need to release and let go. Some of those might be tears. Maybe you need to have a good cry. But Spirit wants you to know that you're not doing this journey alone. So the companions are always there helping you should you want it, should you need it. Guides, guardians, angels, ancestors, God, Source, Spirit, the universe, and the dragon rider. So not everybody is able to ride the guardian dragons, right? So it takes a really special person. What's funny is every time I look at this card, she reminds me of Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, right? And she rode the dragons. She was the mother of dragons. So I feel like you have an entity that, you know, is under your power or works for you specifically, like a guardian angel. And I feel like they really need you to connect with them at this time. There's something going on that they're trying to help assist you. And they said you need to practice some gratitude. So simple things, you know, say that you're thankful, show gratitude when something good happens. Say you're grateful, show Spirit, they'll reward you with more. All right, what else are we working on? Death. So we're releasing something in our life. That's interesting. It could be a physical loss. I almost never read tarot that way, that, you know, the death card is usually about change and transformation. But if you have lost somebody, then take your time healing. Grief is your own personal timeline for that journey. So do what you need to do to work through those things. It says, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. So when one door closes, a new one will open. There's some sort of transformative energy that's coming through for you. And Spirit needs you to take good care of your health. So if there's something going on there that needs to be addressed, do so. Take good care of you. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Are you taking good care of your vessel? Because you get one shot in that vessel per lifetime. And blame. Make sure you're not shifting that on anybody else. Take accountability where it's needed. I accept responsibility for my well-being and peace. Love that. So some sort of peace is coming into your life. I feel like there's a lot of emotions coming to the surface for you. The throat chakra is blue. You have blue and green, kind of a teal color on this card, the water card, the gratitude card, the dragon card, the dragon rider. So I feel like there's something going on here, right? And that affects up here and it affects down here. So we've got to get those things in balance. So I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. What was I saying? Spiritual bath, right? Cleansing all that negative energy away. I'm actually going to use this deck. So this is called the Occult Tarot. Got this one for a Christmas gift for one of my kiddos. Let's see what we've got going on here. What's happening for Aries? There it is. All right, so we start with the Six of Swords. You're going in a new direction, away from conflict and chaos towards your peace. You could be traveling, moving, relocating, definitely trying to like get out of that heavy negative energy that I'm picking up. Three of Swords. You might be dealing with a lot of pain, loss, grief, mourning, heartache, right? And so we need to shift those things to transform the energy. You don't realize sometimes when you're in those negative energies or emotions, you're releasing a lot of different chemicals within the body, right? And they're naturally occurring chemicals, but they can deplete good things out of your body. That probably doesn't make a lot of sense. So what Spirit's telling me is that if you're under stress for long periods of time, you're releasing things like adrenaline, and you can burn out your adrenal glands from always being in fight or flight mode. So you have to go towards peace, because it literally, the stress can actually harm your body. You may also have to make a decision when it comes to love and romance. So, you know, is that something you want in your life? Is it something you don't want? Make up your mind. What do you want? Go in your own direction. But there could be somebody that you have your eye on, somebody that maybe has feelings for you as well. Maybe this person brings you a sense of peace and calm. But I feel like the Knight is always coming in with an offer, right? He brings some sort of news. So maybe you're bringing news to this person. Maybe it's the other way around. I feel like it's been a long time coming, that there's been a very long waiting period for these things to get going, and it does look like there is some forward progress. More news coming in. This could be a financial gain, Knight of Pentacles. What's funny is I feel like you're finding the balance in all these areas that have been erratic for you for a long time. Could even be years for some of you. And so this Knight is ushering in change for you. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's something that makes you scared or uncomfortable. And I feel like this Knight could, you know, it's potential for like an unexpected visitor at your door. So whether that's you going elsewhere or vice versa. But I feel like this Knight of Pentacles also tells us that new opportunities for work and financial gain are also coming in for you. So that's interesting. So the Two of Wands tells you that Spirit needs you to choose. They need you to choose what direction you want to go. So which way do you want to go? Do you want to go that way and maybe this happens? Do you go that way and it's maybe unknown? You're going to have to make a decision in order to actually go forward. I feel like for some of you it has to do with relocation, travel. The world tells us you're completing something. And so it's important that you make up your mind what you want to do going forward. So there's a choice about love. There's also movement and progress. There's travel indicated here. You might be literally packing your bags and going someplace. And I feel like you have your eye on somebody that you see as quite desirable. This person could be in like the spotlight in some way, shape, or form. The Queen of Wands is also somebody who's very alluring, right? Like she might have a lot of attention. Maybe you know about it, maybe you don't. But I feel like she's also a master manifester, so you guys could be welcoming in things together. The Chariot tells us that we have forward progress. Fucking finally, right? Fucking finally. Let's see, what is it? Mars retrograde ends on the 23rd. So that would be in this week as well. So that's going to help you, Aries, to finally make some forward progress, because it's been retrograde for like 2 months, I think, at least. And so we're finally getting some forward progress. And it's been retrograde in Cancer, which is all about feelings and emotions, right? So the water chalice there. So I feel like what Spirit's trying to tell you is you're at the tail end of this. We're almost done. And then you finally get your pep back in your step, so to speak. All right. So death again, lots of change, lots of transformation, endings bringing new beginnings. But I feel like you've almost got to set yourself free, right? To change things for the better. So where do you need to change things? And you also need to be practical, the Queen of Pentacles. So this tells us that this person could be more focused on business than on love. I feel like your world is really going to change. And so that's something that you need to be open to. You also have a Star card. So that's a wish fulfillment that's trying to come in. But you might overthink it. So don't do that. Just think about it logically. And I feel like you're going to meet the person that you're supposed to be with, the King of Cups. So King, Queen doesn't really matter. It's the same energy. It's really gentle, really nurturing energy. Maybe that's the energy you're stepping into. Maybe it's the energy this other person is going to be in. But again, you need to start planning or setting some goals for the future, because some of you do desire marriage and commitment. And I feel like if you have your eye on the prize, so to speak, you already know who this person is, or you already know what you want. And so remember, you are the magician. You can manifest it into your 3D reality. What do you want? What's really strange is they're drawing me to the severed head on here. So I do feel like some of you are kind of at your wit's end with a situation where it's like, I'm just done. I don't want to try anymore. I don't want to go forward. But Spirit's trying to tell you, you can have what you want if you're willing to do the work to get there. So practice gratitude. If you're dealing with cycles of grief, loss, mourning, heal from that, work through those things. But you have a lot of things trying to come in that could be really good for you. So close out the old cycles this week and go forward. Remember, you can speak it into existence. You're the magician. It's literally Aries energy telling you that you have the power to create the life of your dreams. So create it. Sagittarius, let's see what's going on for you this week. What's happening for my Sag? Expression. So you may need to speak up. You might need to get a weight off your chest. You might need to express something in a meaningful way. Could be your gifts. Your spiritual gifts could be waking up. I also feel like someone could be bringing you some sort of gift. Interesting. You have the fire chalice. Whatever's not working in your life, you really need to just burn it all away. Burn the bridges, don't look back. They're telling me baptism by fire. Interesting. So I feel like you've really gone through it in recent weeks or months. I feel like there's been so many ups and downs, so many challenges that you've been facing, and it's like you're teetering on the edge of needing to say something and holding back. So whatever that happens to be for you, I feel like there's some things you really need to just let go of. Let it burn, because I feel like it's going to set you free from whatever's holding you back to express yourself. And all things are happening in divine order. So I feel like this is part of the plan for your life, that some of these things had to happen the way they did in order to get you on track for where you're supposed to be, or to get you to let go of things that aren't good for you. All right, what spiritual lessons do they need to see this week? What's going on for Sag? You, just like Aries, are going towards your peace. So maybe you're going to express some things that aren't working so you can find that. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. And you're faced with some sort of indecision, so you've got to make up your mind here. I feel like part of it's about your gifts, whatever spiritual gifts you happen to have. I use my intuition in all aspects of life, so use it. And envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. I feel like you're realizing you're human. And I feel like that's kind of like eye-opening for you. It's like, oh, dang it. I was hoping I was immortal. I was hoping I had superpowers. You're just like everybody else. We're all here. We're all fighting the same battles. Sometimes somebody's dealing with things we have no idea about. So don't envy, don't be jealous. Those are things that you just need to work through. And empathy. So I feel like you need to show some emotions here. Like Spirit's trying to get you to kind of step out of a comfort zone. Be open to seeing both sides of a situation. And you should anyway, right? That tells us that we've evolved, that we're not a robot, that we actually have feelings. So let's see what else is going on here. All right, Spirit, what's happening for Sag? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What's going on for Sagittarius? Well, you're going to be faced with some sort of decision, and I feel like it involves you going towards your peace. So there's some things that you've got to let go of, you've got to work on. I also feel like you really do desire marriage connection, and there's some sort of indecision about this. So you have to decide, right? Is it the right person? Is it the right time? Is it a good fit? Do we need to burn some fucking bridges this week? Because that does look like some of you are walking away. Maybe it's from a marriage, maybe it's from a long-standing commitment, things like that. But there's something going on where you do need to actually leave it behind and go in a whole new world, in a new direction. I feel like this is an opportunity for you to really grow, for you to see things differently, for you to transform in your life what's not working. But you have to make that decision, right? You have to decide whether you're going to free yourself or not. And if not, I feel like Spirit's coming in to rectify the situation. Judgment and the Hierophant. There's some sort of either higher calling on your life, or there's some sort of pending finality when it comes to marriage and commitment. Like you could be going through a divorce. There could be some endings here as well. But it helps get you to a wish fulfillment, right? So we've got to let go of the things that don't serve us. We've got to let go of the conflict and chaos and competition to find our peace. And so sometimes seeing the other side of that is going to help you to actually find a solution. Let go of liars, cheaters, thieves, manipulators, and untrustworthy people. That's not going to align you with peace, so let it go. It's going to take teamwork to make the dream work, and right now it looks like you guys cannot get on the same page, so you're going to have to go in separate directions. The Wheel of Fortune tells us that we have not only a wish fulfillment coming in, but we also have some unexpected blessings and money coming in, string of good luck. And I feel like by you cutting off what does not serve you, you are going towards something that is much more balanced. For some of you, you're going towards marriage and commitment. For others of you, you're ending something that doesn't work for you. I do feel like this could be a twin flame connection for some of you because 1111 is mirrored energy, but it tells you you're on the right path. So when you see that, know that you're probably in alignment. The other thing I would tell you is that offers stability. And I feel like you've had anything but that. But Spirit says you are due a victory. So some sort of public recognition, reward, fame, fortune, all those things. Could be a divine counterpart, masculine energy. I do think that you're going to have to decide whether you want to be with this person long term or not. And you always have the option to say no. But there's lots of frustrations around work and money, so those also need to be resolved. You got to decide, is it worth it or not? In a relationship, is it worth it or not? Do you want to throw in the towel? So you need some time to think and reflect on all of these things that you're working through. But I do think it could go really well for you. You have this creative passion. You might have a lot of passion for a certain somebody. And I feel like you are going to close out some really painful cycles and be blessed as a result. So follow through with the path. I feel like you need to go towards your happiness as well as your peace, and you need to have some meaningful expression or discussions in order to resolve the issues at hand. Leos, let's see what's going on for you this week. What's happening for Leos? Your companions are trying to get your attention. The guardian dragons, spirit guides, angels. Are you listening? Because they need you to pay attention. The dragon rider tells us that you have a specific companion that works just for you. So not everybody who has guardians, has a dragon rider. So it's a very special bond. Think of it almost like a soulmate connection. And this entity is trying to get your attention. They want you to work well with them. So you have to listen to them. In the silence is where we grow. Time's not running out for you to actually amplify your gifts and for you to wake this stuff up. But remember that in the silence is where we really grow. So they want you to do that. And there could be some love coming in for you. So remember, it starts with self-love and self-care. That's what's going to help you to transform and align you with the right person coming into your life. All right, what kind of guidance do we need for Leo this week? Discipline. Interesting. So I feel like there's a goal in mind that you're going to have to really be disciplined in order to achieve it. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. I feel like there is a challenge in your life. It could be from a relationship for some of you, but I feel like you almost have to have a determined mindset to be successful, and that's going to take some work on your part. I feel like you're going to be faced with some challenges, so you've got to make a decision on what you want to do going forward. And Spirit says don't envy anybody, because that shows that we're in lack, right? So we need to make sure that we see that you are the same as everybody, but with different challenges. So we don't have to envy anybody. What else do they need to see And self-esteem. You could be working on that. That might be something that you need to work on. The silence. In the silence we grow, right? So we're learning to expand. We're learning to appreciate ourselves, learning to love ourselves, learning to connect with our guides. You got a lot going on this week. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So what are those gifts? And you need to use them. So we have growth coming out. So I do feel like there is something that's changing in that area for you. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. So how do you do that? In the silence, right? Meditate, ground, pray, journal. All those things can be done in silence. And that's where you'll start to open up these gifts. All right, freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. So what makes you happy? Go after those things. That's going to be important for your growth. All right, Spirit. What do we have going on for Leo? Maybe if I could shuffle today, let's see. What do we need to know for Leo, Spirit, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? What's going on for them? Okay, so we're in this period of lack. We've got to shift that. We've got to flip the script. You lack nothing. Start telling yourself that. I lack nothing. Everything I need, every need that I have, Spirit will align things for me. I lack nothing. Keep telling yourself that. I lack nothing. I lack nothing. I'm grateful for everything that I have and everything still yet to come. I lack nothing, because you don't lack anything. The love that you crave is coming. So give it to yourself first. I do feel like you've gone through a lot of illusions, and so Spirit wants you to see that you're strong. Spirit wants you to see that you are valued, that you are worth it, that you are a star, so they want you to shine. I feel like you're going to start to see any sort of illusions for what it is, and you're going to go, that's not for me, it's not in alignment, and cut it out. I also think you have blessings coming in, so financial gain is also possible. A string of good luck coming in. What's funny, hiccups for confirmation, I feel like the Ace of Wands is always telling you that there's new beginnings trying to come in. That could be in your finances, it could be in love. You've got 2 aces already, you got the Wheel of Fortune, so things are improving. But you first have to shift your perspective. Why don't you see your value? Why don't you see your worth? Did somebody hurt you? Do you need to work through those things? Did somebody say things that left a lasting impression? Remember that sometimes people hurt other people because they're also broken people. So sometimes it has zero to do with you and they're just going through their own crap. So don't overthink these negative things. You've got to set yourself free from feeling really trapped. You have lots of new beginnings coming in. You might have a fresh start in work. There could be abundance coming in from a job. Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, leading to the 10 of Pentacles. If you shift your perspective, you're about to have the life of your dreams. You've worked really hard, or you're going to set some goals in order to get there. And I feel like you also have to walk away from things that just don't serve your highest good. It's just not a good fit for you. Literally, I think you have all 4 aces. Ace of Cups, Ace, you do. You have all 4 aces. Shit, that's the best reading of the day right there. Literally anything you want can come to you with this energy. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. You've got all 4 aces out here, the 10 of Pentacles. But in order to get to all those, you got to go through the change, and that's the hard part. You got to be willing to walk away from the negative stuff, the things that aren't working to get there. But there will be a reason to celebrate. You could even be meeting a divine counterpart or starting a family with someone. So what does your instincts and intuition tell you? Oh, you don't know how to tap into that? That's what the silence is for. That's what Spirit's trying to show you. They're going to point you in the right direction of the right connections, the right opportunities, the success, the abundance, the love that you want. But you have to tap in first. So are you? Or are you confused? If you're confused, I feel like you need to work on those skills, right? Put in the work where it's required in order to get there. Build your empire. Say no to toxic cycles and things that make you feel stuck, trapped, and bound. And Spirit's going to show you where you need to take action. So it all starts with you. You're on a journey, right? You're not at the final destination yet. So things can change. They can also change for the better. So shift your mindset and change your life. Cancer, let's see what's going on for you. What do we have going on for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Signs of Cancer for the week ahead. What do the dragons need to tell Cancer? Show them what they need to see. Nutrition. Are you taking good care of your vessel? Are you eating well? If not, I feel like that's something you do want to address. If you just, you just eat junk all the time, like that's not good for your body. You need nutrition. Literally, it says nutrition. So maybe this year you're going to do a garden. Maybe it's a really small little garden in your kitchen window. Maybe it's you start incorporating more fresh foods into your diet instead of processed items. Whatever it happens to be, make sure that you are implementing a plan that you are feeding and nourishing the vessel that you are encased in, okay? Your meat suit. Why? Because you only get one chance to make it a good one. So you want to take very good care of your vessel. And you can't do that if you're constantly eating a bunch of junk, right? There's some sort of fear that Spirit is trying to have you release. They want you to see that it stands for false emotions appearing real and that the ego is in control when fear is in control. So you want to release or let go of that. I also feel like you need to connect with your guides. Osin is one of the Dragon Kings in this deck. And so I feel like there's also this element of pride going on. And so we want to, that's a funny one. They're showing me an episode of Game of Thrones where Jon Snow refused to bend a knee or take a knee for Khaleesi. And I feel like there's only one entity, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, that you would bow to. And so Spirit's trying to align you with a new way of thinking. And I feel like there's this sense of pride or ego that's getting in the way of where you really want to be. And so they're telling me that you need to squash the ego and leave your pride at the door and try something new. Interesting. The Temple of the Sun. So this would be a fresh start and a new beginning. Think of it as the Sun card, the happiest card in tarot. So I feel like if you leave pride and ego, you find your happiness, right? Like you replace the fear with the happiness that you're looking for. That's interesting. All right, Spirit, what lessons are they learning this week? What lessons? Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. So are you listening to intuition or are you listening to ego and fear? You've got to listen to intuition instead. Abundance. So I feel like you are going to kind of get out of this negative mindset and chase your dreams. But I also feel like it's indecision and fear that's blocking it. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. And yes, you can. But fear will block your manifestations from coming in. Fear will block your abundance. So you've got to replace the fear with your intuition. Death. All right, so endings bring new beginnings here. So we're going to challenge ourselves to see things differently and transform. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings and failure. So anything that you perceive as a failure can actually be a learning experience. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So use it as an opportunity to learn. What did that situation teach you, right? What happened? What did the situation actually teach you? Maybe it was a love relationship that didn't work out. Maybe it was a job. Maybe it was something you thought would be easy and it turned out it was much harder than you anticipated. Whatever it happens to be, take the lesson and grow from it. All right. What do we need to see for Cancer? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do we need to see for Cancer? What do we need to see? All right, Ace of Wands. So you do have a new beginning coming in. I feel like it's either a passion project, creativity, maybe a new romantic interest, but it's the beginning stage. So it's new, it's exciting, it's fun. And you could have manifested this with the Magician. So maybe you're manifesting love, maybe you're manifesting abundance. Whatever it happens to be, I do think that you need to take good care of your body until you get to where you want to be. Three of Swords. So there's been a lot of heartbreak, pain. Could have actually had a physical loss of somebody because that comes out with the Death card. You need to focus on healing right now. I feel like that's going to be super important because you have prosperity coming in, the Ten of Pentacles. Your failure is going to actually turn around and lead to success, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. It is. You have abundance with the Ten of Pentacles. It's all about things going forward. King of Pentacles. So yeah, you could create something, a partnership, a business agreement, a marriage, things like that. But again, you have to make a decision here, right? Some of it's about love. You've got to decide if you want that, or is it heartbreak and pain? The Ace of Swords. So Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, you have a lot of new beginnings. But you've got to get the clarity in order to process, to go forward, I feel like. And so if you're in this state of confusion, you got to listen to your intuition. You can't listen to fear and ego. King and Queen of Pentacles. There is a partnership potentially coming in. Again, work, love, money, maybe they're intertwined, maybe they're not, but there's some sort of partnership where you're both on the same page, and I feel like you both want the same things, and it could turn into love. Someone might have a crush on you, but again, you have to start thinking about, well, what do you want for the future? I feel like you have some choices that might be difficult, but you need to go towards them. And King of Wands. So you might have more than one option when it comes to love, things like that. I feel like it's also important. You might have two people coming in with love offers. Page of Cups, Page of Wands. One's non-committal, one wants something. And then you have stability with two kings. You have the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. That's a pair, that's a match. Everything's like up in the air right now. So I feel like you really have to clear your mind in order to make a decision, and you can't because you're afraid. So you have to release the fear in order to see the truth so you can actually make a clear choice, right? Five of Pentacles. So you're going to leave something or someone out in the cold. Things are changing financially for the better, and you do want marriage. So you have to decide which is the best fit for you. And there will be some communication. Somebody needs to speak up and say how they feel, but they're nervous, they're worried. Nine of Swords. Okay, what else? Four of Wands, though. I feel like there's been a lot of instability in your life in love, and so that's also needing to change. You're looking for something that's stable, that you can actually build something that will last, not something that doesn't suit your highest good. One more. Okay, Temperance, yep. One of these will usher in the balance that you're looking for, the stability, right? So you can't be afraid to dip your toe in the water. It's divine guidance. If you release the fear and you sit with your intuition and you weigh the pros and cons of each aspect of your life, which is a good fit and which isn't, there should be no confusion in that. If you look at the truth for what it is, you will see one of those is a manifestation that's coming in that leads to success, financial abundance, and marriage potential should you want it there. Happy life, happy wife. But I feel like this is also something that you have to choose what you want to do, and you cannot let fear, pride, or ego get in the way. So choose wisely. Pisces, my home team. Let's see what's happening for you. What's going on for Pisces? Ooh, courage. The Courage Dragon. So you're about to face some sort of challenge this week that you're going to need a lot of courage. When I first started doing readings for people, that was something that I really struggled with, was letting go of the fear. And instead of fear leading me, I needed to find my courage in order to face my fears, to let my guard down, to let my intuition do the work. So what else do they need to see from the dragons? All right. Interesting. You need to earth and ground. Okay. I feel like you're up in your head a lot, and that needs to change. Yeah, it's fine to trust your instincts and intuition, but if you feel like you can't right now, you need to earth and ground. Bury it. Bury those fears. Bury the things that are negative. You know, it's almost like you plant a seed. Do you want to plant a seed of fear and doubt, or do you want to plant a seed that will grow into something that's beautiful that you can later harvest? It's pretty easy when you put it in perspective like that. So don't plant a seed of doubt and fear and allow that to grow. We need courage to come in and face our fears and eliminate all of the things that are unknown, right? The unseen. And that opens a door to a whole new world for you. So Pisces, you're going to have some courage. I feel like you might end up with some battle scars, but remember, our scars show that we were stronger than what was ever sent to defeat us. I've got many of them. So I feel like the scars always tell a story, right? a song comes to mind. I can't think of what the name of it is, but it's something about chicks dig it, chicks like scars, all that stuff, whatever. Anyways, Spirit is trying to tell you that you can enter this whole new world, but it's going to take courage to face your fears to get there. And your scars don't define your future, right? Those battle wounds show that you were strong enough to defeat all of these things that were trying to come against you. All right, Spirit, what lessons are they working on this week? What do Pisces need to see? Envy. This has come out in several of the readings today, so I feel like we need to see that we're human, right? That, we don't have to envy anyone, especially things like social media. If, you're scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and you see all these happy couples and you see all this stuff and it's like, oh, they're doing so well. Oh, they look so happy. But are they under the surface, or is it all an illusion? Remember that we are all human. We're all the same as everybody, but with different challenges. So you don't need to envy anybody. And I feel like courage will help you see that you are good just the way you are. And if you want to change, by all means, change for you. What else? Change. Spirit's got jokes, right? Okay, so when I say it and then it comes out, we know it's confirmation. So there is some sort of change. I feel like you're really going to bury something, that you're really going to just let it go and you're over it. You're done. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement, right? Nothing can grow. The seeds that we plant in the earth, nothing can grow if it doesn't change, right? So let's say you plant a seed in the dark earth and you water it and you do this and you do that, but it doesn't ever grow, right? It doesn't change. Well, how come? Something wasn't right there for it. It didn't have what it needed to change. So it can't bloom. For some of you, you're going through massive changes, and that really will take a lot of courage for you to face those fears. I feel like you're going to start to stick up for yourself. I feel like you're letting go of a lot of things that really just they're not in alignment for where you need to be. And this change that's coming is going to cause you to have to let go of things to get to this new world. Yep. Spirit's got jokes today, right? Lots of gardening analogies, my bad, so sorry. I feel like they're easier to understand than some other things. So the growth, right, comes from change. You got to be willing to change in order to grow. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. I feel like some of you, your spiritual gifts are really, really amplifying. And we are in the North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo. Long story short with that, Virgo is perfectionism. So we are leaving those things behind. Anytime the South Node moves into a sign, that's what we're releasing. That's what we're leaving behind. North Node is where we're going. So we're going towards innovation, expanding our consciousness, our awareness, our spiritual gifts. 12th house is all about spirituality. It's all about enlightenment, right? And Pisces being the last sign, you are the most enlightened sign. Well, you've got to go through a lot of difficult change in order to fucking get there. So the growth has to happen, right? To get you to this new world. We're going into the 5D, Christ consciousness, the new earth, the new world. Do we see a pattern here? You got to change, babe, before you're going to grow. Okay, so know that it's part of the plan. And we have judgment. So I feel like you think people are judging you. And, we all do. Whether we want to pretend we're churching it up or whatever. We all judge people, right? Our first impressions, we're judging people, maybe how they look on the outside, how they speak, all those things. We do it, even if it's not intentional, even if it's not with malice and things like that. But we do it. It's human nature. So judgment says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So view them with kind and loving eyes and try not to judge anyone for what they're going through, what they've been through, and the scars that they carry. All right, Pisces. Let's see what's happening for my Pisces. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do they need to see? All right. What do we have? Ooh, Page of Bones, Page of Wands. Don't jump in head first on something you're unsure of, because you have a new love offer that's coming in, and this could really change things for you. But there's always a but. I feel like what you're looking for is out there, but if you jump into something you're unsure of because you are settling, it's not going to turn out the way that you want it to. This person could be playing mind games with you. This person could be very immature. I don't feel like a page is a good fit for you. So you need to make sure that you're thinking about that. There is some clarity or some truth coming in that's bringing growth that you need in order to actually change things for the better. I almost get the sense that there's going to be some sort of revelation, like some sort of piece of information that comes to light that allows you to see the situation differently, right? Let go of what you don't want so you can welcome in what you do want and activate this path of change. Okay, what else? Yeah, because you're dealing with pages, right? That's immaturity. That's not going to work long term. They both have a lot of growth that they need to do. They have a lot of learning. It could be your children. Pages are typically under the age of 21, so young people. Maybe you're young watching this, but I feel like there's this sense of immaturity. There's curious energy there. There's excitement. There's passion, but it fizzles out really quick. It doesn't really get off the ground. And so for some of you, you have to communicate that, right? You have to find the courage to say, listen, this isn't what I want. It's not going anywhere long term. And if that's what you're looking for and somebody's like, oh, well, hey, we could, but it's not got substance, and that's the issue. There's no substance, which means it's not going to grow, right? So you've got to, be honest with yourself. And you've also got to be brave, right? You've got to take action where others won't. So I feel like there's this offer that's coming in, like somebody's finally stepping up to the plate and finally taking action towards you. However, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere because look, you have all pages. Page of Blades, which is Page of Swords, Page of Wands, and the Page of Cups. So yeah, there's feelings there, but they can't get their crap together to make anything go anywhere. Do you want to sit in limbo forever, or would you rather cut your losses and grow and change and go in a different direction? Because I feel like if money's the obstacle, it's going to change for the better. I feel like you're going to cut somebody off because it's not going to grow. It's not going anywhere. And that might sting a little bit, but you're going towards a new destination, right? You have New World, you have the world, you're completing a difficult phase. So you have to complete it. You've got to go through it to get to the other side of it. You can't just skip that part as much as we wish we could. What else does Pisces need to know? Pisces, I feel like you're going to travel a lot this year. Maybe it's a road trip. Maybe you're exploring new things. But I feel like you've got to almost set your sights on your next destination and just go for it and not worry so much. But you are worried, right? And so that's causing a lot of anxiety, sleepless nights, apprehension. Sometimes we've got to sever ties with the past people, situations that it doesn't grow, so it's got to go. See, okay, another garden analogy, my bad. But this is the best way I can explain it. When you have a plant in your garden that's not doing well, it's not producing fruit, or it's not blooming, it's not growing, you sometimes have to go in and prune the dead parts off in order to rejuvenate or cause this plant to focus its energy on growth and bloom, right? So if you go in and you prune away the dead parts in your life, the things that aren't growing because they're not able to, there's not enough substance there to make them grow, well, then you're going to finally have that growth that you're looking for, that change that you need, right? So we've got to cut away the things that don't serve our highest good in order to do that. What else does Pisces need to know? If you can't work as a team, it's not a fit. You got to be on the same page. It takes teamwork to make the dream work. There's some sort of collaboration that's trying to come in. Again, I feel like it's going to take some change in order to get there. You also need boundaries. You can't be the world's doormat for the rest of your life. You also can't juggle these things all the time forever. So you've got to make a decision about what you want to do going forward. So Spirit needs you to tap in and listen to your intuition. I actually yelled at my guides today. while I was getting ready. They started giving me a lot of head pain and pressure, and I used to get wicked migraines before I'd get like major downloads and stuff. And I'd have to take medication and go sleep it off. And the reason I'm telling you this is you might be experiencing ascension symptoms because you're trying to grow. You're trying to cut away the old versions of yourself and go towards something that will grow. And so if you are feeling ascension symptoms, you could feel like you're coming down with something. You could have horrible head pain, body aches, all these different things. There's a huge list of them, so look that up. And as our energetic frequency is shifting into the 5D, the new earth, we are coming into alignment with higher frequencies, which means that the lower vibrational entities must be pruned away. Okay, so you've got to trust your instincts and intuition. The Queen of Blades, right? She cuts away the things that don't serve her highest good. She knows that it's not a good fit. She's very observant. She's very skeptical. She realizes this ain't it. I got to go in a different direction. They got to go, right? They got to go. I can't do this anymore. So I feel like you're coming to maybe a painful realization that there's things or people, situations in your life, they're unaligned. It's not meant to go forward. So work and money frustrations are also there. I feel like you need to just pause this week. I will be pausing this week. I'm going to upload a couple of videos for you guys. Apologies. I'm a little tired and burnt out and I need to rest and recover. But I feel like you also need to just figure out what you want going forward. Don't work yourself to an early grave. That's not worth it for anybody. Is it worth your time anymore, or do you need to change something? And I feel like there's going to be lots of changes. What else do we need to see for Pisces? Yeah, because you don't want to fall into this pit again, right? 10 of Swords. You've been in survival mode for too long, and you've got to pull yourself out of that pit. Literally in this deck, this is the Supernatural deck from the TV show. That's the pits of hell. It's the abyss. You don't want to go there. You definitely don't. We have Judgment. So there's some sort of decision that's pending finality, right? It's this change. And I feel like if you allow Spirit to move through you, Spirit will help you make adjustments. They'll help cut away this dead weight, the stuff that's no good for you. Cut away all this low vibrational energy. So you simply need to ask Spirit for help and assistance, and ask for them to remove these things in the least painful way possible, and then get out of the way and allow Spirit to do that, because you could have a new love offer that's trying to come in. I feel like this person sees you as very sexy, very alluring, somebody that they really do want to go forward. But what's funny here, if you look at her hand, she's like, stop, just stop. Are you stopping your own happiness from coming in? You might be. Question is why? Because I feel like underneath this rough exterior, you have a lot of love to give. But something's got to change, because I don't feel like you're receiving the love that you give. The question is why? Because you're due a victory. You've put in the work, right? You're due some sort of public recognition. What's funny to me, so like, she commands a lot of attention. She commands a room. She's a master manifester. She's gifted. She's talented. All these things, right? She's sexy. She's alluring. She knows what she wants. She's passionate, yada, yada, yada. This person is intrigued by her. He's like, kind of like what she's got going on over there. Kind of like what she's putting down. I feel like somebody sees you in some way, shape, or form, and this could bring in the balance that you're actually looking for. But there's some sort of illusion that you have to see. The illusion is what needs to change. You've got to see the truth for what it is. This person could be well-to-do. This person might be a business owner. They might be wealthy. They're not afraid to take their time if it's the right person. What else? Yeah, because we've got to cut off the toxic stuff, right? That's how we're going to get to our new beginning, is we've got to prune the garden. What else? And then there's new opportunities that come out of that. So you need to plan or set some goals for what you want. You've got to heal the heartbreak. You got to heal the pain. The Chariot tells us we're due for some forward progress. This week, Mars goes direct on the 23rd. So things that have been really slow moving, we're finally going to let go of that, and things are finally going to shift gears and go forward. And then you step into your divine energy, which means there's going to be a lot of people that want to enter that space, but they can't. Pages don't align with an Empress. not in alignment. So those things have to go. The only ones that would suit her would be the Emperor or a King. You do have a King that came out. That's the King of Pentacles. And I feel like he would want to protect and provide for her. He wants to take care of her, nurture her, allow her spiritually to grow and to be in her soft energy. But that requires change. So Pisces, I feel like this week could be quite dramatic for changes and things to transform for the better. So allow the garden to be pruned. Scorpio, let's see what we've got going on for you this week. What's happening for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Show me what they need to see. What lessons are we working through? Ooh, perseverance, interesting. You know, I feel like sometimes we get stuck in a rut where we really need to just kind of keep trucking along until we get to where we're supposed to be. So I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. So stay focused on your goals and put in the work where it's required. You could also be dealing with grief. So my condolences if you've recently lost somebody. Grief is a personal timeline, and I will tell you as a medium that we do continue on past the earthly plane. But that's not always what you want to hear when you've recently lost somebody. You just want that connection, right? Or sometimes you're happy to be free of a really shitty person. But whatever the case might be, I feel like you need to understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So hopefully you show those people in your life that you care while they're still here, so you don't have to live in any sort of regret. Fear. That's false emotions appearing real. That's the ego. We want to get out of fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. And what was I saying about regret? So we don't want to have regrets, right? We want to make sure that, hiccups for confirmation, that we live every day as if it could be our last, that we don't live in regret, we don't live in fear, that we persevere through these challenges, and that we see that you need to make changes if you're living in fear, or if you have regrets, you need to make changes where you can. I know that I cannot change the past, so don't get stuck living there. Live every day like it counts, like it could be your last, and you should never have regrets. All right. What do we need to see from the dragons? Let's see, Avalon. So this would be like the kingdom of heaven. Avalon would be like the main dragon for King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. That's exactly what this deck is about. But Avalon symbolizes heaven. So again, you could have actually lost somebody. But we continue on. There is this beautiful realm that sometimes we're lucky to see glimpses of before we ever get there. And I feel like that's where you need to connect with heaven. You need to connect with the higher realms. There's something going on that you need to tap into that. What is this? Let's see. Oh, the courage dragon. Interesting. So it's going to take courage to process through this grief. I feel like you're strong enough to do that. But fear needs to be replaced with courage. All right, what else do we need to see? Death, geez. All right, so I do feel like somebody actually lost somebody with all these cards that are like identical. But death is also symbolic of transformation. So if you didn't actually have somebody physically pass away, which would be better, I feel like what you're actually dealing with is a lot of transformative energy. But there's this regret and this fear, and there could be other emotions like shame or guilt attached, and we want to release those. We need to realize that sometimes we're going through this painful transformation as like a refining process that actually helps to align us with where we're really meant to be. And without that painful process, we wouldn't be shaped into who we're meant to be going forward. So my favorite analogy for that is actually a river rock. It doesn't start out super smooth. It starts out with rough edges, right? And over many, many years and months of time, all of the rough edges are worn down until it's completely smooth. And so spirit might be refining you to allow these rough edges to be removed. So allow the process to occur. But your thoughts are sometimes negative. So we want to make sure that we are trying to stay positive if at all possible, but we have loss here. So my condolences for anybody who's going through grief, loss, mourning, any of those things. Spirit's trying to align you with more positive thoughts. And so I feel like you need some time to heal. You need some time to process all of these things in order to actually find your courage again to want to go forward. So don't give up, because it can get better, and it will get better. All right, Spirit. This is a heavy reading for Scorpio, so my apologies. The energies felt quite heavy the last couple of weeks anyway, so I'm hoping that things start to change and lighten up for us soon. All right, Spirit. Wow. Okay. The Hierophant. It could be a spouse that you lost for some of you. For others of you, you're growing, you're changing, you're transforming, you're going towards spiritual enlightenment. That could also be seen as the stairway to heaven, which is funny because we have Avalon out here. It's part of your ascension. I will tell you from personal experience, your ascension process, your dark night of the soul, your spiritual awakening, it's not pleasant. I have not met any other person who's gone through that and says, oh yeah, it was a fucking cakewalk. Well, then you haven't actually experienced it, because the dark night of the soul, it's horrible. It's like all the skeletons in your closet come out. It feels like the world is falling apart and you're like part of it. That's just, it's crumbling around you. And it can feel like a really dark place. But it's meant to get you closer to your spiritual path, your calling, and to God. And so that's what the purpose of it is to break away the ego, to break away the fear, and to align you with your calling, your destiny, where you're supposed to be. It's part of the ascension process. And it's not pleasant, but it is worth it on the other side. So you got to keep going. There's some sort of unexpected love offer coming in. I feel like you have to find courage. For some of you, I strongly feel like you lost a partner or a spouse, and so you're grieving that loss, and love might be the last thing on your mind right now. But I do think that God will put the right person in your path at the right time. And I feel a lot of the emotions when I read cards for you guys, and I feel this. Like, it's painful. It is difficult. It is something that you're struggling with. And I feel like you need the biggest hug in order to get through this. So big hugs. Love you guys out there. All right. So Spirit wants you to know that things are going to get better. You have a wish fulfillment coming in after this loss, but that you also need to take some time out for you to recover. And it was just 55 on the timer. So I feel like you need some time to rest and regroup and heal. But these changes are necessary to get you to the next level. It's also going to restore the balance. You could be dealing with courts, contracts, legal issues, wills, estates, divorces, whatever you have to do. And you're going to recover financially as well as mentally, spiritually, physically, all those things. And you do have a wish fulfillment, a lot of happiness that's going to come in after this. And it's going to take teamwork to make the dream work, so make changes where you need to. But your focus needs to be on healing from this pain, from this loss, the grief, the heartbreak. This really left a mark, and I'm not sure that you're ready to go forward just yet, but you will be. There's going to be a reason to celebrate going forward, but you've got to get out of this state of drowning, right? These heavy emotions have to be dealt with in order to go forward. You will be able to stand on your own 2 feet, especially financially. Plan or set some goals for the future, because your ships are coming in. And it will be abundant. So whether this is a new partnership or whether this is something that you're building on your own, you're going to be okay. And you need to know that. But Spirit needs you to tap in. And I need you to stay tapped in. So whether that's grounding, prayer, meditation, you definitely need to connect to the higher realms. You need to connect to heaven. You also need to protect your energy right now. You don't want to just let any old buddy in there. You need to have some boundaries. But things are going to turn around for you. This is fate and destiny that's going to put you back on top of your game. This is also unexpected money coming in. So while the changes could be painful for you right now, things are turning around in your favor, even if you can't see that right now. And the focus needs to be on healing to go forward.